Hello, hello, and welcome back. Welcome back especially for me because I've done this video once before. And that resulted in me actually creating permanent reverb within the recording. So I'm having to do this recording all over again. This has been a very bad month for me. I am not in a good state at the moment. But I wanted to get a video done for October, and there's only one day left, and it's this day, so I've got to record this in the morning and upload it, and then put it up in the afternoon. That is my only option, so I've got to get this done. So, if you cannot tell in this particular video, I am not using Paint Tool Sai as I usually do. I have purchased and I'm trying out Clip Studio Paint EX. Spoilers, I am not particularly impressed with it. Anytime that you move, especially with drawing, anytime that you move from one program to another, you're going to hit a bunch of hurdles. And I'll talk about them. I'll talk about them as they come up. I don't look forward to doing that again. But you can tell that I'm like struggling with even the draft work because nothing is really set up correctly. I spent an hour on stream on Picardo doing nothing except for changing the UI elements and moving them around and trying to figure out what everything even does. So that results in the sort of weird UI that you see before you. Because there are so many weird things about Clip Studio Paint. It would be so boring for me to just talk about them. So I will. To some degree anyways. But the gist of it is that you eventually have to find sort of a comfort zone with what you're doing. And for me, that comes down to I need to be able to create a draft easily, and I need to be able to create a final line work easily. And then after that, I need to be able to color something in and shade it. That's the only thing that I want. If you ever wonder why I use Paint Tool Sai, it's because it's very easy. Like there's almost nothing to it. And by the way, whenever I was doing this draft, I realized about nowish that I had drawn this same exact pose, and I think fairly recently, I can't remember what it was, but I do remember that I've done it basically the same thing fairly recently. I've been doing a lot of these recently because I enjoyed the joke. But especially with Winnie, I'm drawing Winnie, by the way. If you don't know, there's an old cartoon called Ghoul School that was released back in like the 90s, and it was a Scooby-Doo film. It's one of three like of the red shirt Scooby-Doo cartoons, I think. It's really not important, but the gist of it is that Scooby and Shaggy go to a monster school that's inhabited by these little monster girls. And they're just like ordinary girls that just so happen to be monsters. And that's sort of a meme thing that took off on 4chan, and as a result, I sort of participated in that little bit. I took a sort of loose redesign that wore a flannel shirt that I can't remember who came up with it. I struggle to remember every time, and I don't think I ever knew, so I don't know why I struggled to remember. Lynx? I can't remember. But another artist was doing sort of loose interpretations with this flannel shirt, and I took that idea and I ran with it and more popularized it as a result. The history of this is very loose. So as a result, I became more associated with the design. I guess you could say that I created more elements of the design, but the general gist of it is that while this design is known for being from me, the idea of it having a flannel shirt and all this other stuff is more of a more community thing. It's one of these weird modern problems with online community creations of characters. Ugh. Anyways. Winnie is my character, in other words. This character from a completely unrelated Scooby-Doo thing that happened, oh my god, like 30 years ago almost. Oh, that's I don't like that. Okay, so I have a couple of other Winnie videos on. I usually draw them whenever I'm not feeling particularly well, or whenever it's just October. This one aligns pretty well because I haven't been feeling well, and also it's October. So as a result, here we are. I'll go into the whole details of why I'm not feeling too well, but this video, I've already recorded this video once. I don't want to just ramble about my problems yet again. I'm the kind of person that I don't really like to talk about myself too much. Sometimes people react with shock to that because, well, you're a content creator. Like, yeah, I'm a content creator. I have to talk about something. So naturally, I'm going to come up whenever I'm the only person here. I don't know why that's so shocking. But there's a lot of things that you guys don't know that's been going. Here, we'll do a thing once. I'll do a thing once where I actually talk about upfront with all the shit that's been happening to me. Okay, so, but first with this video, I just want to say that the general theme of this video, I hope, will be keep it simple. Keep it simple. That was the emergent theme of my prior attempt to record this. Keep things simple. Overly complicating things only creates complications, believe it or not. This is the thing I like about Paint Tool Sci. It's a very, very exceedingly simple program. If you want to draw a picture, you can draw a picture. And that's all there is to it. Okay, so what's been happening to me? If you didn't know, I've had a lot of weird shit happen to me lately. Russian hacker got into my Twitch account. He took that over for a few hours. He got into my PayPal as well. Transferred all the money and that out and converted it into rubles, which is kind of hilarious, rubles. And so I reported that to PayPal. The gist of the Twitch thing is that because I'm an online community creator, I had the power of Twitch and Twitter on my side. So as a result, I could just go to Twitter and just say, hey, this shit's been going on. Everyone go there and report it. So as a result, and here I'm probably Googling something, trying to figure something out. I was doing this a lot in this video. Clip Studio Paint. Kind of hard to figure out how things work in it sometimes. So as a result, there's going to be a lot of just sitting here on the screen wondering what the hell's going on. But eventually the Twitch thing got sorted out. It didn't take too long. The Twitch people were not that comprehensive, so I found a few things that they didn't. Like, I mentioned to them, hey, is there anything else that needs to be looked at? And they're like, oh, yeah, it looks like here he changed your payout information. So if you had not asked and we had not looked, then all of your future payouts would have been going to him and one of his stolen email addresses. Also, another thing that I found was that he had used my Prime sub to some guy who had not had any activity on his page for 4 years. So that's probably another stolen account. I'd say it's probably a stolen account because no one's that stupid. Because you can just Google the guy's name and it shows that he has an active YouTube account and an Instagram where you can just see pictures of him and his family and girlfriend and stuff. So if I were to be a malicious dumb primate asshole and go, there he is, and run off and start trying to harass him, it would be a big issue for him. And I'm just making the assumption that no one is that stupid, especially someone that's this comprehensive. But anyways, again, I normally don't talk about this sort of stuff. I've been harassed and given death threats and all sorts of stuff because I'm a YouTube creator, and that's just, it comes with the territory, unfortunately. People get angry over the stupidest shit. I eventually got them to unsub me from that guy, although the token for it gets lost forever. Hopefully he didn't get any money out of it, but whatever. So the only money he actually ended up getting, the only progress he made was with PayPal. Twitch was pretty quick about things, so I didn't have to worry too much about it. That's all back under my control. The PayPal also got back under my control pretty quickly. Changed all my passwords. By the way, this is important. Go check to see if you have two-factor authentication on all your stuff right now. Whether it's PayPal, whether it's Twitch, whether it's Twitter, whether it's your bank account information. Anything you can think of, go check it right now. Even if, like me, you thought, well, that's the most secure thing that I have to worry about. Of course it's on, because I remember one day going through and just turning that on everything. So, of course it's on. But you didn't actually check. That was my problem. So, whenever I realized that this stuff was happening, it's like, what the hell's going on? That is on, but it wasn't. So whenever they managed to, I have no idea how they got a hold of the password. So whenever they managed to do that, then naturally, of course, they managed to get in pretty easily. So go check that right now. That is an issue. Go check that out. For anyone, even if you're like a dumb asshole that's listening to this right now because of some sort of deep malice in your heart, your desire to see me not succeed in life or whatever, if you're like, yes, good, suffer. You too. You, the stupid asshole that has nothing better to do with your life. Go check your two-factor authentication too. Like, just for the hell of it. Because everyone needs to have that shit on. So, as a result, that's how they managed to get in. PayPal has not been helpful. I called them, which thankfully, there's kind of an irony in it, is Twitch has no means of calling them. You have to do everything online, which is a huge security issue. You can't call someone and just talk to a human being. You have to do everything via their Twitter. Like, it's insane. You have to contact their Twitter and then wait for operational hours for someone on the Twitter to wake up and start reading messages. It's so bizarre. I can't possibly understand how that's supposed to work. But anyways, PayPal does have a phone number that you can call. The people that I talked to, the actual human beings, were fairly useful in the sense that every one of them believed me instantly. Not as a policy, but you could tell they're like, oh gosh, that's awful. I'll look at this stuff because they're always, you could tell at first with all of them, they were like somewhat suspicious because I'm sure there's all sorts of weird frauds involved. But eventually, after I went through and gave them all the information, then they were like, oh yeah, this is a clear-cut case. It's very obvious that someone got into your account, converted all the funds